Hey everyone, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez. I'm coming at you today with a VeVe OMI update video. Guys, if you're new, welcome. For not, welcome back. I love you all. Everyone say hello to Dashi. Hello, Dashi. Commenting, liking, subscribing is a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon, smashing that super thanks button down below. And yeah, it's been a while since we had a only OMI video, and we'll go over other stuff too, but here's my take on the kind of craziness we had today. We were down to 00012 something. Actually, a few days ago, we were down to 000109. Everyone thinking it would go into the quad zeros, and it still might, but let's talk about today. We were up over 17% at one point. We were at 000145. That is where we wicked up to, and then we had wicked right back down. So we're only actually up, as I'm making of this video, 5% on the day. So Chavez, why are you making this video? I had a buddy of mine go in and shoot me a message, and he had said, "Hey bro, would you be interested in selling me $5,000 worth of OMI? I'm almost at 100 million, bought today, and I'm getting impatient doing it in $2,000 batches every hour or so." So I had said, like, at the time, it was like 130. I was like, that's like 38 million OMI. I don't know if I want to part with that much. Figuring I would sell a little bit anyway. So I made him an offer. I was like, okay, listen, let's do, he had said, that's what I've been doing on Coinbase app. Cause I told him I'd do 2K for 15 million, would that work? Cause at that point it's like, okay, I can kind of part with that. He wants to hit a goal. I can buy some back when it goes back down. And as of right now, that was at 130. It went to 145 cause he kept buying. And then it's back down to 1328. So actually would have been better to, it's better that I didn't sell, because I would have tried to have bought back down below where I bought, but it probably wouldn't have happened. Anyway, and again, it still might. He's someone that has never had a ton of, he knew that I was in it, and he never had a ton of OMI. I think he had bought some like a couple of years ago. But now it's a pretty good place to dollar cost average. Again, this conversation between me and him, none of this is financial advice. Anything can go to zero with little or no notice. So I told him, you might get a chance to possibly get this cheaper when cash out goes to OMI only, because he said he wanted to get another couple 100 million in the next couple weeks, get to that 420, blaze it, comment down below. And he's like, well, when does that happen? Because again, he's not really, crazy into OMI. He wasn't really sure about the gem cash out thing or the OMI to gem. I was like, well, I actually want more OMI also, and I kind of have to wait until December before I'm able to get any meaningful amounts more. The amounts there, if we're still down here in like late December, I should blow past 400 million, maybe even $500 million. And then if we're still down here in like January after DEVVE goes nuts, I could probably get up to $1 billion OMI if they stay down here, and I don't know if it will. It's like, well, Chavez, didn't you just say it could go to the quad zeros? Yeah, it could, and let's go over that. So I had mentioned to him about OMI to gem and lack of cash out. It's like, okay, well, lack of cash out, you have a couple of things that's going on there. You have the fudders that'll be like, oh, see, it's a slow rug, you can't even get your money out anymore. And obviously that's silly. They have loads of money. They're just they're giving OMI utility. They're streamlining it a little bit, and they're making it really cheaper for you to cash out, because instead of having to pay those 8.5% fees plus the 10% cash out fee, there's like, okay, 10% fee to cash out on Stacker, and that's it. Great. But for this, you have a couple of people that are just like, wait, why can't I cash out? Because again, not everyone keeps up too much with the ongoings of VeVe and OMI, and they do rely on people like me and other content creators to kind of keep them abreast of the situations. And some of the people, I wouldn't say have a knee-jerk reaction, but they're a little worried, like, wait, how do I cash? I have a bunch of gems in here. I bought a bunch of collectibles I want to sell. How do I cash out? And again, that's pretty easy. All you have to do is sell for OMI. And again, we have a couple different reactions. We have the people that are super bullish, like me. It's like, oh, hey, this is going to give OMI more utility. This is great. You have people on the opposite end of that, where it's like, oh, bro, crypto bros might know what to do, but this is going to be horrible because not everyone's going to know what to do. And, you're just going to have people leave the app. And it's like, okay, maybe. You have the people kind of in the middle that are just like, well, I don't really cash out anyway. This isn't really affecting me. And they're just kind of sitting on the sidelines. And then there's other people that say, like, hey, I think this is like me. So I think this is a good thing long term because, again, it does give OMI a little bit more utility. You have to cash out in OMI, which, again, I think is cool. That's going to cause more burn, which is great. But yeah, the people that would have cashed out in gems that now need to cash out in OMI, they're going to sell that OMI for USDC. So that is probably going to cause a little bit more of the of sell pressure on the token. Now again, I think that's short term. I think longer term, as people see the burn start to kick up, as people see more utility for it, they'll probably buy it. You'll have some cross trades, and eventually there'll be more buying than selling. But that's not the only thing that's happening on November 19th. You also have the OMI to gem, which is also great. You'll be able to take your OMI and buy gems with it. So for example, the other day for Ryu, for Street Fighter, I put in $100 in gems. I didn't want to because I wanted to save the fiat for other things like crypto. Still not at my DEVVE goals yet. Definity I have, I think, enough of, unless the price goes down again, in which case I'll get more. And DACAT I'm always buying. But DEVVE I haven't reached my goals yet. So I wanted to save some of that fiat so I could buy some ETH and then swap for DEVVE. And so I put in the 100. I didn't really want to, but I had to go for the $6,000 bounty, like I assume some of you did as well. Shout out to Michael Bauman for getting that mint number 1987. Anyway, what they're going to do is they're going to say, hey, if you don't have enough fiat, no problem. Go in and spend your OMI. You can now use your OMI to buy gems on November 19th, which is great. But if you think that through, it's like, okay, how is the company making money if they're getting OMI for gems and then people are using those gems to buy from the store? Well, the licensors aren't going to take OMI. If they did, that'd be amazing. But they're probably going to have to sell that OMI in order to replace the fiat that would normally be used to buy those gems. And then they're going to have to pay the licensors that way. So again, adding a little more sell pressure on the token on the same day when you have cash out, that's only going to be an OMI. So both those things together, I think, do create a little more sell pressure on the token. I think you have that opportunity maybe to get it at quad zeros. Again, that being said, I also told my guy about December. I was like, because that's when I think I can get a little bit more money. And I said, listen, I'm going to try to get as much OMI as I can. His goal is 420. My goal is obviously $1 billion, but I told him, like, be advised, OMI could be 001 by December, which is like 8.5x from here. And at that point, instead of being $130 per million, it'd be $1,000 per million. And I'm just not getting $1 billion at that price. I would love to still, but it would be a lot. Because at that point it would be, it'd be like $1 million for $1 billion OMI, and that's, that's a lot. Anyway, so I told him about that, and it could swing the other way. It could swing way up, and again, I think eventually it will, because VeVe is not only not going to have to pay out anybody ever again because they can only cash out through OMI. They can take those likely hundreds of thousands of dollars that they have sitting there in case people want to cash out their gems. And they could reallocate that to other parts of the business. I think that's bullish. And again, being able to go in and say, oh, you don't have the fiat? Don't worry about it. Pay in OMI. And yeah, they're going to have to sell a little bit of the OMI, but that's some real big OMI utility. And again, I think a lot of that, and I assume we're going to have a tiny bit of burn in there. Because if you're paying for gems in fiat, it's likely going to be on the website, and if it's on the website and not the app, they're not paying those 30% fees to Apple or Google. So because they have a little extra playing room, I'm imagining there's going to be a little bit of OMI burn. So again, as we get more utility and more OMI burns, it's going to look more attractive to more investors, and then there's going to be some sell pressure, but you have those cross trades, and then eventually I think you're going to have more people buying than selling, and the buy pressure is just going to outweigh the sell pressure, and then we go up, and then we get to NFT season at some point. I don't know when. It's probably next year, but it could be any time. So those are some thoughts I have on just short term and kind of the midterm stuff that's going on with OMI. And my guy that had asked me for OMI, again, he wants to have 420 and he's at 100-ish million now, and he'll get more. And it seems that his buys, a couple grand every hour, we're actually helping to pump the price. I don't know how, because supposedly we have a couple $1 million in volume each day. I don't know how much of that is bots. I don't know how much of that is market makers. But again, it seems that only like $10,000 kind of got you to go up, or at least help go up 17%. Now, there's probably other people buying in there as well, but either you just had that seller's exhaustion, everyone that wanted to get out got out. There are a couple people that still do comment and say, like, Randy, I don't think this is really going to do anything. It's like, okay, if you think it's not going to do anything, sell and put it into something you think that will do something. And it's like, well, I can't sell, Randy. It's just, it'd be such a big loss. It's like, okay, well, if you don't think it's going to do anything and you lose the rest of your money, or you could take it out and put it somewhere else. So there's a lot of conflicting arguments with a lot of people that are really like beside themselves. But that being said, I feel like a lot of the people that wanted to sell have sold, and the people that are still ready to sell, if a 3 or 4x isn't going to help them, and they're going to have like nothing anyway, then they probably don't have much to sell. So even when it does reach a certain price and they do want to sell, it's not going to be that much. I don't think that sell pressure, like the sell pressure has to stop at some point. Again, if you talk to any fudder that hates the company, you'd be like, no, it's going to go to zero. And again, there's no helping those people. But in my opinion, like I said, I'm not done buying. The 320-ish that I have is good, but I want to get to much, much higher prices in the hundreds of millions. And again, even that billion. Right now, my best performing thing is DACAT, and I posted this online the other day. I put in $500,000. I was talking to this guy. I guess I could say his name because he's not super private or anything. A guy named Derek Snook, big Otani guy. Like, he goes in on there's Candy, and Candy has a bunch of Otanis, and I'm introducing him to a lot of stuff on VeVe and their OMI token, and we had a long conversation today, and I had told him, like, hey, be advised, like, full transparency here. I put in over $500,000 into OMI 4 years ago, and that became worth next to nothing. So I put in another 100 grand over the last couple of years, and now all of that together combined is like not even close to 100 grand anymore. And so I'm letting you know that I'm still buying here because the thesis of the company hasn't changed. The fundamentals have only gotten better with the company, and they're now the clear leaders in the space, where back in the day, most people weren't sure who was going to be that leader. I did, and that's why I bought, and that's why I still buy. So again, if you're here for first time, full transparency, I put in over 600K into the token, and it is now my smallest bag. So throwing that out there. But that being said, I'm still buying because the company shows great promise, and so does the token. When it corrects back to where it should be, it's probably not going to stop there. It's probably going to overcorrect where it shouldn't go to, and that's why I see 2 to 4 cents this cycle, in a blow off top. That is, I don't see that trading there for like 8 months, but I do see that happening in a blow off top, and maybe even higher if we go for the bull case scenario. Anyway, guys, that's it for me. I'll do a DEVVE, Definity, and DACAT video sometime this week. Everyone please comment, like, and subscribe. Comment's good for the YouTube algorithm. And everyone say bye-bye to Dashi. Bye-bye, Dashi. Love you guys. Bye. Yeah.